First of all, we're so honored to introduce this talented person.
I know. Okay.
I mean, Gino
fresh off of his concert, actually.
Gino and I really, we get sick of each other. So it's great to have.
We're really happy to have people in the booth because it saves us from having to talk to each other all the time.
Really. So let's get to it. Oh my goodness, live here at the Magic 89.9 booth, the one and only, you guys, Jeremy Zucker is with us here today.
Woo-hoo! Hello.
There you go. Oh my God.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You just came fresh off of your the last leg, actually, the last concert that you had to do for your Asian tour here, which happened yesterday, last night.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I told you off air that I saw a clip, and I mean, I could barely hear you, actually. I could only hear everybody else singing along. So
yeah, the crowd was really loud.
I know. Like, we really do love to sing here in the Philippines. But I mean,
yes, we kind of do. It's a pastime. Yeah.
What does that feel like? I mean, I know you went to so many different countries, and just these songs are so personal to you. So they see people from the other side of the world singing along to that. I mean, that must never get old. You know what I mean?
It definitely doesn't get old. It's a really strange feeling, writing a song alone in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And then a year later, traveling across the world to a room filled with 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Singing along to what you wrote in your bedroom alone. Yeah.
Like screaming the words back at you. It's insane. It's an amazing feeling.
Okay, so
I'm getting goosebumps.
Is this how your writing process usually is? Like, you usually just stay in your room and because I know that a lot of artists have different things. Like, I know that Lenny Kravitz goes off to Brazil or something and his farmhouse there, and then he spends 3 or 4 months.
Where do you draw the inspiration?
Yeah, where you get inspiration from or whatever.
The thing for me is once I write a song in a certain way, I never want to write a song in that same way again, because I think your environment and the tools that you use to write a song dictate how the song turns out. So I'm always trying to switch it up. Location doesn't really matter that much for me.
Okay.
It's more what instruments I use and how I start a song. I try to start a song a different way every time.
Yeah. But
I've taken a couple trips. I went out to Connecticut to record my project Brent.
Yeah.
In a rural carriage house, where a studio was built in it.
Cool.
Right.
But I like to make music where I feel the most comfortable because I do it alone, completely alone. I produce everything myself. I write everything myself.
Wow.
So it's really just where I feel the most comfortable and where I feel like I can experiment the most. I don't really perform well when there's people watching because honestly most of the process is really boring because I'm trying a million
because you're
things.
just writing it in your head.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to touch up on that. You said that you do everything alone. And this song, I mean, I actually learned that it was inspired by, after a moment that you were just oh my God, I'm so tired and I just need to kind of live in the moment. And can you tell us more about that? You were working, but then
because I feel a lot of people can relate to that sort of I'm gonna go crazy.
You needed a moment, and then you made another work of art. It's just you know what I mean?
I wish that everybody was as productive as that.
when they're kind of feeling a little exhausted. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny. In music, there's a fine line between work and fun. It can feel like work when you're really trying to write a song, but when I wrote Come Through, it was honestly an amazing experience and so much fun to write it because I was taking all of these negative feelings and emotions about feeling run down and feeling bored and lonely, and I turned it into this song that made me feel amazing while expressing all of those emotions and feelings. So it was quite cathartic to
let it all out.
Out, and then that process of letting it out is so it just makes you feel so good.
Yeah. And it's relatable.
I actually wanted to ask you something about
it really is.
for the music video for Come Through. Was it all done in one take? Because the way it was delivered, it actually looks and your phone fell. Was that for real? Was it a planned thing? Or?
Yeah. So my friend Ben shot that. He's actually in the studio with us.
Oh, nice.
Recording us right now. But yeah, we were doing a show in Toronto, and we went on a roof in the building.
Yeah.
And we were actually originally shooting a vertical video for Spotify.
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to be a music video.
Right.
Okay. And we were just let's just lip sync and dance around and joke around. I was and we were trying to think of all these really cool artsy ideas.
Right.
And eventually I was screw this. Let's just go
let's record everything.
Let's just have some fun. And then we did a couple takes and we ended up using the first take where I was playing the song off my phone.
Right.
It was in my sweatshirt pocket. It fell out on the ground. I had to do a little spinny dance move to pick it up and joke around. The whole time. I'm not a good dancer. I don't know if you could tell from the video.
Didn't seem like it.
I'm kind of making fun of myself while I'm dancing. And it's
Right.
funny because a lot of my music isn't so happy bubbly like that. So I definitely was like poking fun at myself.
And it's kind of trippy because if you look at the comment section on like the YouTube video for Come Through, like you'll see people are like treating things as like Easter eggs, where it's like at 1:49 you'll see a head like just there.
Yeah, and that head is right here.
There you go.
That was Jake. He's right behind me.
Okay.
It's my drummer.
There you go.
No, but I mean, as you mentioned, what is it like to get all of these people so like obsessed with every little detail? I mean, it must warm your heart. You know what I mean? Like you've never met these people, but they relate to you in such a personal way.
It does warm my heart a lot, but I also really understand it because I've been that person on the other side. Like I've been that person watching an artist's music videos and looking for Easter eggs and like tweeting at them and being like, I need to see your show. Like, so to be on the other side of that and understand where those people are coming from means a lot. And I think that really helps my connection with my fans because I really get it. Like I make the music that I make because I love it and I feel a very certain way about it. And like I love the music that I make. I won't ever put out a song that I don't love. And so I feel like that's the connection with my fans, where we feel the same way about the same things.
Right.
And like that's how friendships are made. Like you have common interests and you like the same things.
Yeah, because I think you'll encounter some people who are like, okay, like generally they're performers who don't like seeing performances, like I mean for movie stars and whatever, like they don't like it when they see themselves acting on screen. But you're one of those people who actually really like your songs as well.
Yeah, I have some artist friends that are like, oh, I hate the sound of my own voice. And in my head I'm like, well, then why are you doing it?
That's
that actually makes sense.
No, but you know what, like as DJs, when we hear recordings of ourselves, I'm like, turn it off. Like,
I hate my talking voice. Like,
okay.
I can't listen to myself
talk. You have a great talking voice. Yeah, no, and singing voice, obviously. But okay, so I wanted to ask really quick. I mean, the internet is kind of like the best of both worlds. It can be super fun, hilarious. You can find the most random things on it.
The best memes.
But it can also be like the deepest, darkest, most toxic hole ever.
That you don't ever want to.
But in your life, it was kind of like a beautiful thing. You know, you posted, you shared your music online. And I mean, I just wanted to know what was kind of like that moment before you decided like, I'm gonna do this, because I feel like a lot of people are that way with whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to necessarily be music, just in life, you know what I mean? Like there's something that kind of holds them back, and it's amazing that you didn't hold back, because there was so much beauty.
Now so many people get to enjoy your songs.
So what was that like for you before everything just kind of like, the fame, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's funny because, I mean, in this day and age, like it's not hard to put a song on the internet.
Right. Yeah, that's...
I think I didn't put it out. I didn't put music out thinking like, I'm doing this, like, let's go. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to be like a successful artist. I was like, I'm in school. I love making music. I made this song. I'm going to plop it on the internet. Like, it was so easy to just click upload to SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Right. And it just started very, very slow. And it was like, oh, I got 100 views.
Yeah.
90 of them were my friends, and then it's like, oh shoot,
but you still got 90 friends to watch.
Exactly.
Like that's my friends.
And then like it just really nice. It just really escalated step by step.
Yeah.
To the point where like me being here right now, obviously it's crazy, but like it's not that much crazier than like doing a headlining Europe tour, which I did 6 months ago.
Right.
And that's not much more crazy than a headline US tour. And that's not much more crazy than doing an opening tour, which I did for Lauv like 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
And like that's not much more crazy than doing a hometown show, which isn't that much more crazy. And so it's like it's really hard to teach yourself to take a step back and recognize like, wow, this is actually insane.
Yeah.
Even though I'm so used to it from everything that happens before. But yeah, I have to like remind myself to take a step back and be like, this is wild.
That's so great.
Okay,
but I love how you didn't overthink it though. You were just like, yeah, let's do this.
Well, no, I definitely overthink everything.
Okay.
I just seem like I do.
But you just make it seem like you don't overthink everything.
Because I'm an overthinker. So, I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to ask that question.
Yeah.
But that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that like, whenever you write songs, I mean, obviously it's about stuff that you're going through and stuff that you feel, and it gives you some form of release also. But like outside of that, like what do you do for fun? Like let's just say that like you're not in the mind space to start coming up with songs. Like I heard that you were a snowboard instructor before.
I was a snowboard instructor.
Do you still go snowboarding?
I haven't gone in 3 years because
it's been...
I went to school in Colorado and there's a lot of mountains out there, but
right.
it took like an hour and a half to get out there, an hour and a half to get back. It's a whole day ordeal. And when the music started picking up, I would much rather spend my weekend finishing music
than snowboarding,
which I love to do, but honestly love music more. So I haven't been in like 3 years, and I'm kind of upset about it.
So that's kind of crazy, like how you know, something that becomes so productive, so you know, like something like creating music is actually your release also for, because you know how like usually if you're a performer, it's like, okay, I'm gonna work and then I'm gonna do something for fun, but like with you, like it's sort of just met in the middle where it's work and it's fun.
That's the thing in the music industry. It's like business and pleasure are the same thing.
Yeah.
So you really have to make an effort to, like, if you do want to have a separate personal life, you really have to make an effort to separate it, or at least just like have different people in your life that aren't just music people, which can be hard sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I really had to like make an effort to, you know, do other things. I always feel like I'm a lame person when people ask me what my interests are outside of music.
Okay, what are your interests outside of music then? Now that you brought it up.
Well, God, it makes me feel so lame.
No. You are talking to the lamest person in this room. He always makes fun of me for being super like boring. So like, help me out here, Jeremy.
The truth is that I just don't have that much time to do other things.
But if you had the time, like, what are the things that you would want to do?
I'll start with the things that I do have time for, and then I'll go into the things that if I had the time. I'd love just like hang out with my friends, whether it's like watching a movie or going out or getting food. Again, lame, but
yeah, that's actually pretty enjoyable. Yeah.
Because like all the crazy stuff in my life happens on tour. Like I see so much craziness, so I love to just come home and chill. What other things do I do? I mean, I love like being outside, and like I love sunsets.
That almost sounds like that Bedazzled scene where what's his name? Brendan Fraser was like, "Oh, I love that sunset." But anyway,
we're not really
random.
Into that.
I like to cook a little bit.
Oh, you do?
I like science. I like going into like really deep YouTube holes and
never getting out of there.
I love memes.
Yeah, memes are fun. They really are.
internet.
The internet is. You mentioned your friends like hanging out with them. Do you like bringing them to like the craziness, to like the shows? Like, you know, it must be so nice to
as much as I can,
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of them can't like you know,
obviously
drop
just
everything
pick up
and
and
go
go.
on
But
tour
if
in
it's
Asia.
possible, yeah.
But yeah, and like when I have a show nearby,
yeah,
like they come out and we have a great time, and it's a lot of fun.
And it's different when you're performing for, you know, for people, obviously people you've never met, but when your friends are there, like it means so much, right?
Totally.
Like, yeah. So
do you still get nervous at this point? Like, do you still get nervous performing in front of huge crowds? And
yes, yeah, I definitely do. Every time is different. Sometimes, like the less nervous I am, usually like the worse my performance is. Because when I'm nervous, I have
because you're not on because you're on your toes. Or
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Center yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still pretty new at playing shows. Like I've only really been performing consistently for a year.
But you've turned like you just finished your tour from Asia and like you had a European tour also. So
in the beginning, I like. My heart would be beating so fast before I go on stage, and I'd be like, "This is the worst feeling ever. I don't know if I could do this for a living."
Yeah.
And then I'd get on stage, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever!" And I'd get off stage, and I'd be like, adrenaline pumping, like, "Let's go," you know.
So it's like a whole gamut of emotions that just goes through.
I don't want to do this anymore. Wait, this is so cool.
It's like a lot of nervous ups and downs.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but the more you do it, the more like you get used to it. And
do you have any like super memorable experiences? Like, I mean, obviously, like you mentioned earlier that performing in front of a crowd, like no matter where it is, like it's a little different from. Does anything stand out to you?
I can think of some pretty good horror stories from on stage.
Sure. What happened? If you're okay with sharing it.
Yeah. Well, my first tour, there was like a lot of technical difficulties, which also made that whole experience really stressful for me. But we've obviously worked everything out now, and now touring's so much fun. But one time I walked on stage and like all of the power cords were like right by the door that I was walking out to go on stage.
Wow.
And like I tripped over it and unplugged everything. The lights, the music, the sound, and like for whatever.
So it's pitch black and like
everybody in the back is like they remember it like it was yesterday.
And also this was at my Denver show in the fall, and I went to school in Colorado, so all my college friends were there.
They all knew who you were, I think.
And so, but I walk out on stage, and for whatever reason, everything decided to like delay 3 seconds before shutting off.
Right.
Like, everything held power for 3 seconds, so I walk out to the front of the stage. Set's about to start. I'm about to start singing, and everything shuts off, and I just look around. I'm like, oh, I definitely pulled the cord, and I just turn around and walk off stage, and then we have to start over.
Yeah, start over. Like let's get that moment again. Like we can recreate it. It's all
how do you even bounce back from that? You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty like traumatizing
some
thing.
Technical difficulties. Oh, okay. But you know what? Thank you so much for dropping by. I mean, I'm sorry we're geeking out. We're asking like so many questions.
No, it's cool.
You know, we like to learn about the creative process because
we want to kind of daydream about like how it'd be like to you know, make it a singers and whatever.
We have
which we will never do.
Never. No, we'll stick with our jobs. But
so what's next for you? I mean, you just finished your Asian tour. Do you have any idea of like, you know, what's coming up?
Yes, I'm going home to New York and working on my debut album.
Ooh,
okay.
Yes.
So much fun.
So lots of exciting music coming up, and
so you're gonna lock yourself in a room again and
exactly. It's I'm maybe like halfway or 3/4 done with it, but I definitely need to lock myself in a room to finish it and make it as good as I want it to be.
There you go.
Last question: do you stress over the work that you have to do, or are you just kind of like, I take it day by day?
I don't look at it like it's work that I have to do. It's more like I stress about making that it's not going to. No, not that it's not, because I'm not going to release something that isn't.
You're like
up to my expectation. I'm a perfectionist.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah. I stress that like it's going to take me so long to get it how I want it to be.
Right.
And I definitely I overthink. I think myself in circles, and lately I've been really just trying to like disconnect it and just not think that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not too worried.
Because sometimes when you overthink it, like you end up like screwing it up a little bit more.
It's like anyone can really do anything. You know, you just gotta.
Well, from two random DJs from Manila, congratulations
from
halfway across the world.
Thank
you really, I mean,
Thanks,
you
guys.
mentioned overthinking, but I mean, I have to mention this: 184 million. See, I didn't need to get the math right. Million streams on Spotify alone for Come Through. So
that's just for Come Through.
Yeah. So
just
I mean, I guess if overthinking works for you, it really does.
I guess it does.
Yeah.
But congratulations. We are gonna, of course, we're gonna get to this track. We've been playing it in the background, but let's
make people hear it like in its full glory.
So, just do you have a message for your fans over here in the Philippines, real quick, before we play this for reals? For reals.
My Filipino fans, thank you so much for listening to my music and supporting me. I saw some of you last night at my show, but I want you to know that I'll be back soon. I will play another show, a bigger show hopefully, so I can meet more of you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We had so much fun. Hopefully you did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are, overthinking things again.
Yeah.